let's get into it. Baltimore Ravens preview. If you guys do enjoy this, please stay to the end because YouTube only cares about the watch time. While you're staying, please hit that like and subscribe for more sports topics like NBA and NFL like this. So let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens, who had a great offseason. Let's talk about the departures. They lost Michael Pierce, Seth Roberts, Patrick Onwuasor, Josh Bynes, James Hurts, Tony Jefferson, Brandon Carr, and DeMonte Pico, as well as Hayden Hurst. But they had some great additions this year. Calais Campbell, a man who's not missed a game in 5 years. A man who had 6.5 sacks last year. A man who had one fumble recovery and one touchdown has joined this team. Two-time All-Pro, two-time second-team All-Pro, one-time first-team All-Pro, five-time Pro Bowler. Calais Campbell will be a beast. Another man who joined us was Broderick Wolfe. He had a career-high 7 sacks in 12 games to go with 34 tackles. 23 of those were solo, and 8 of those were for a loss and 12 quarterback hits, while forcing one fumble and deflecting one pass. He's a man who was part of the Super Bowl winning team of the Denver Broncos. Should be a great veteran to add who will make an immediate impact. DJ Fluker, 11th overall pick, 2013. Spent his first 4 years as a bust for the Chargers, but then he went over to the Giants, and they kicked him inside. And man, he's been good. He's been good. They kicked him on the inside, and he went to the Seahawks. And in the past 2 seasons, he's played in 24 games, starting 23 of those. So he should be a great guy who should be an immediate impact. We re-signed Matthew Judon, Jimmy Smith, Anthony Levine, Chris Moore, Pernell McPhee, and Jihad Ward. With that being said, this is a team that's going to be great. Adding a linebacker like Patrick Queen, who, the last linebacker we drafted was C.J. Mosley, who I still say we should have never gotten rid of. C.J. Mosley was a beast. I think we should have paid top dollar to keep him, but, retrospectively, we might have done the right thing. Patrick Queen is a perfect guy to replace C.J. Mosley, who was our best linebacker since Ray Lewis had left. A guy who might not make the biggest impact this year, but his impact will be felt in his sophomore year campaign. J.K. Dobbins, the man who's going to replace Mark Ingram. But I think Mark Ingram will be our lead back still, and J.K. Dobbins will fight Gus Edwards, unless Gus Edwards did not get re-signed. But I think Gus Edwards is still on the roster, and they'll fight for the second back position, which maybe Gus Edwards will start the season, but I say by the end of the season, you will be seeing J.K. Dobbins and the season as the starter. He had a 3-year career there, and he was just wild. He had 3 seasons of 1,000 yards, and his last season was 2,000 yards. That is just ridiculous. Next up, our third-round pick, Justin Madubuike, was a defensive tackle out of Texas A&M. He's just this guy who we have a good nick for finding defensive ends or defensive tackles in the 3rd to 5th round. Terrence Cody, Michael Pierce, Arthur Jones, and he's another guy like that. Brandon Williams, that we just found, who's a big guy. He enjoyed a solid campaign last year with 45 tackles, 5.5 sacks, 11.5 tackles for a loss, and 1 forced fumble, 2 pass defended, and 1 interception, earning second-team All-SEC honors. He'll be a good rotational piece, eventually becoming a starter for us. Devin Duvrain was a guy out of Texas. His best performance came last year. He caught 106 passes for 1,300 yards and 9 touchdowns, was first-team All-Big 12. Should be a good receiver who might not see a lot of playing time this year, but definitely in his next year. Malik Harrison out of Ohio State didn't see not a lot of field in his first 2 seasons, but last year he was named first-team All-Big 10 after having 75 tackles, 3.5 sacks, and 16.5 tackles for a loss, and defending 4 passes and recovering 2 fumbles. Another guy, Tyree Phillips out of Mississippi State. He was a JUCO, and then he went to Mississippi State. He's got that heart, got that hunger. We got a guard in Ben Brenson. If you know anything about the Baltimore Ravens, they're really good at finding guards. Marshall Yanda. But there's another guy I think he'll be able to fit in real well. He started every game at left guard last year and earned first-team All-Big 10 honors as well as second-team All-American honors. Another defensive tackle, if the first one doesn't go well, Broderick Washington. Last year, he played 12 games, 39 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 5.5 tackles for a loss, and 1 fumble recovery while deflecting 2 passes. We got another receiver. These are the guys at the bottom of the draft that will probably not make the team. James Prochet out of SMU. Last year, he had a good year as he caught 111 passes, 1,200 yards for 15 touchdowns, earned first-team All-AAC honors, and was second-team All-American. And Geno Stone out of Iowa was a safety, another guy who probably won't make the roster, but he finished with 70 tackles, a sack, 3 tackles for a loss, an interception, 4 pass deflections, 3 forced fumbles, and he was named second-team All-Big Ten. It's a really good team we have this year. Be interested to see how we do in the coming year. I do think we'll be a playoff team. I do think we'll have that Patty Mahomes type energy. Lamar Jackson will. And I do think we'll make a Super Bowl run. I truly do believe. I think our defense will be better. Our offense will 100% be better. I still don't think teams will be able to beat it. And I think we'll have evolved the offense to a whole nother level. Okay, with that being said, I think 100% we will be one of the biggest threats in the NFL, and I do believe we will be making it to the NFC Championship game. I think it was just a fluke that we didn't make it to the NFC Championship game last year, and that was because it was just we were a young team. We didn't really know. Patrick Mahomes didn't make it in his first year. But I do believe in this third year, Lamar Jackson will take over the NFL once more. He might not win the MVP. There might be another player who will break out and win the MVP as usual because, it's so rare for a guy to win back-to-back MVPs. Pat Mahomes might win it again. But I do firmly believe Lamar Jackson will lead this team. He has a chip on his shoulder. This team is back hungrier than ever because of that defeat. They're so probably embarrassed and humiliated of how strong of a team and how much backers they had that now they lost in the first round, second round, but for their first game of the playoffs. So with that being said, I do firmly believe that this team will be so hungry. They want every win. They will try to go undefeated. They might not. They probably won't, but they will be at least in the AFC Championship game. You can know that for a fact. So if you guys did enjoy this, let me hear down below what you guys think of this team. Is this like a really good team? I firmly believe that this team could be one of the better, if not the best team in the NFL next year. They were already the best team last year, okay? If this running game can go downhill, eat all the time. Lamar Jackson keeps being the freak athlete that he is, and the receiving corps take a next step because that receiving corps was so young that, what they were doing was unexpected. But now it is expected. We're expected to do what we did last year again, and we're going to improve on it because that's the type of team the Baltimore Ravens are, especially coached by a coach like John Harbaugh, who I served McDonald's to once because he lived next to me. Not next to me, near me. And I guess he got McDonald's on his way, and he stopped at the McDonald's I worked at. But John Harbaugh will not let this team settle for anything less than a divisional round. But they definitely will go to the NFC Championship game, AFC Championship game, without a doubt. But with that being said, I do have some fears. Does he take a step back, Lamar? I don't think so. Do teams expose our offense? I don't know how they would, but could they? Yeah. They need to shut down the running game, force the pass, but I think Lamar is going to be a really good passer. Willie Snead, one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL. He's a Swiss Army knife for us. He's an amazing player. Miles Boykin's going to take a huge role. I didn't even mention something that Greg Roman mentioned. Let me go to my phone right now. Greg Roman mentioned this right about here. I got it on my phone. Somebody tweeted this, and I thought it was cool. Greg Roman's on wide receivers. Marquise Hollywood Brown, new to a whole full offseason would do wonders. Let's see if everything comes to fruition. Miles Boykins, we're going to load his plate more. Expect a giant step from him. Willie Snead, the team's Swiss Army knife. Durain and Proche, positive reviews from their Florida private workouts. And I think that was with Lamar. This is going to be a crazy team. Crazy team. Greg Roman, I don't know how Greg Roman's never gotten a coaching job, but think about this. Every time Greg Roman's been part of a team, they've had an explosive offense. San Francisco 49ers, Buffalo Bills, and now he just had a great season with Baltimore Ravens. He's a genius. I mean, obviously he's going to get a head coaching job hopefully after this season. But I do firmly believe that this Baltimore Ravens team will be insane. This defense will take a whole nother step. We got hunger. We got everything that's needed to be a good team. So let's see if we can put it all together. Because right now we don't have it all together. I mean, we kind of did. We did. We had it like at 85%. And that's how the Chiefs were their first year. Their second year with Patty Mahomes, they had it at 100% because they knew what to do and they knew how to get it there. And that's what they're going to do. We got that playoff experience. A lot of guys didn't have playoff experience. Now we do. Now we got that playoff experience. So hopefully we can go in, smack some dicks, and fucking win a Super Bowl. So if you guys did enjoy this video, I want to hear your comments down below. Like, subscribe for more NFL topics like this. I got NBA stuff all the time. I'm trying to go to the NFL. I love the NFL. It's just like it gets hard to talk about it, but I can talk a lot about the NFL, and I love that shit. I never know why. I did do NFL stuff. It never caught on as much as the NBA, but I feel like the NFL is where it's at now. So I hope you guys have a great day because I know I will. Until next, guys. Peace out.